Hey guys, welcome to another garden tour. It's a sunny Saturday morning. It's June the 8th, and this will be the first installment in these weekly videos. Again, just trying to keep the time of the videos to under 10 minutes. You'll notice that the garden looks quite a bit different. I had a little bit extra help last weekend, so I focused on landscaping the paths at the expense of planting out a few things. So while I'm a little bit behind on my planting out, the paths has been a revolving project, so it's been going on for quite a while, and it was quite annoying to be tripping over rocks and weeds and things like that. So finally got around to just buckling down and doing it. So we laid down the supply lines for the drip irrigation system and then started to bring in the sand, pack the sand down, and then we got around to putting some crusher fines down on half of the path. So we still have the other half to do. But it looks good. It's a lot easier to walk on, a lot less things to trip over, and I'm pretty happy that we finished it, or at least mostly finished it. Okay, so let's go take a look at how everything stands in the garden. So in the process of doing the paths, I had to level off these beds, so all we have to do is put a little bit of topsoil in just to top them up, amend the soil a little bit. I use a little bit of well-rotted manure, and then plant out some plants. In the tomato bed, well, I know I said that I was expecting it to be the last frost. We did get another one on Monday, which was really unfortunate. So a few plants took a bit of a hit, but hopefully they'll all survive. That one on the end might not make it, but that's clear frost damage. Other than that, they're looking good. A little bit behind this year, but that's all right. Now again, we took a bunch of asparagus from this bed, so these plants I'll just let leaf out and regenerate some energy for the plants. So the garden peas are rolling right along. Again, this bed will just sit here, weed it occasionally, and then harvest. Not too much going on here. They will start climbing the chicken wire fairly quickly. No signs of any beans yet. They usually take a little while to get rolling. So looking down the broccoli and Brussels sprout tower, they're really starting to grow. Again, these plants are going to get big enough that they fill this entire archway. But again, I haven't touched this bed. The weed guard kind of suppresses all the weeds, and this whole bed will just sit here. We'll have to weed it maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll harvest in September. And looking down the onion bed, it really smells like onions in here. There's no sign of any carrots yet on the end. The celery plants look okay. Haven't really done anything since I've put them in. And the onions are steadily putting on more mass. They really start to again bulk up as their roots begin to reestablish, and by the end of the summer they'll be big enough that they fill this entire tunnel as well. Still pretty slow going for the beets. I don't see anything from the parsnips. I can never get parsnips to germinate. And the spinach is pretty sporadic germination. I'm not too impressed with it this year. Last year was a bumper crop. This year doesn't look like it's going to be all that successful. And then further down, just some kale plants that I picked up from the nursery. I've got some hot hats on little smaller seedlings that I put in, and we had that frost. And they do help. They survived. What else is under here? Bunch of random plants. Yeah, that one might not make it. That one made it. Those are cauliflower. Now, because of that late frost, the pepper plants got hit pretty hard. Quite a few of them died. Again, it's one of these things where it's always a balance between planting things out early and a late frost. That frost happened on June 3rd, so it was, even for this region, it was pretty late. It is what it is. I'll end up pulling out the dead plants and substituting them with something else, either a broccoli, cabbage, or cauliflower. Strawberries survived their massacre from the deers. Again, one of the things is to plant out the rest of the strawberries and then put some covering over this bed, because the deer will be back, and I'd rather not lose any more plants to them. So one thing I saw the other day that was a little bit of a shock was that one of our cherry plants has quite a few cherry blossoms on it. I wasn't really expecting these plants to produce fruit until next year at the earliest. But this one seems to have, I think I counted 6 blossoms on it. So maybe we'll be able to see what type of cherry this plant produces. Alright guys, that's it for now. I'll see you next time.